I think you did. All right, greetings and welcome. If you happen to come on, it looks like I'm back on this channel once again. I thought my new channel would be ready to go live. It said 24 hours. I just checked and apparently not. Um, So I'm not too happy about that. If you guys are wondering why I want to go live, it's because live allows me to go as really long as I want to go without having to wonder and be concerned about data or space on any of my devices and things like that when I'm recording. And so it just kind of makes it a lot easier just to go live. And so I just knew Bloom from Within Love's um, channel was going to be ready today because it said, within 24 hours, it should be ready, and it's not. So, lo and behold, I'm still here on Empath Holistic Healing's channel up until it looks like I'm going to probably have to keep it up until I see that Bloom from Within is going to be ready for live. So, I still use Bloom from Within Love for like the shorter things that I do. So, you guys, of course, can bounce between both. Um, Give me a moment because I'm going to also try to simultaneously go on another platform here. So give me just a moment. Bear with me. Um, I apologize for that. Just in case others want to, I don't know how that works. Let me see. Um, you know what? I'm not going to even worry about that. I think I'm just going to do it this way because I think like folks is all going to be on here like that anyway. So they can check it out later, or I'll just share it onto, um, I'll share it onto another platform. That's what I'll do. And if they want to join, then they certainly can. Give me one moment, you guys. If there's anyone on here, I apologize for the delay. Okay. Okay. All right. So, as you all can see, I think, what did I put in the title for today? I think the title, I hope I'm going to quote it right. Basically, it's like a you versus them, or, it takes two. Basically, kind of love reading from both points of view. Okay, I love these types of readings because I'm hoping to do it a little bit unique. Typically, we see love readings, we may see it where it's like, okay, this is their perception and this is your perception. Okay, but I kind of meditated a little bit and I just sat still and I was like, okay, let's get raw, let's get fair, let's get neutral, for really, for realsies. I was like, okay, whether it's a present love some of you may have, okay, because in fairness, it's a collective read. So some of you may still be with somebody, and then some of you may have recently broken up. And I know that we're in a lot of retrogrades, and that usually brings about a lot of, if I'm not mistaken, if we're still in Venus retrograde, then there's a lot of other retrogrades. And from what I know, I'm still studying astrology, but from what I know about it, it brings up a lot of stuff, okay? A lot of relational type issues, all right? So I'm told that old loves typically come back. And so I can see where that if those of you are who are in relationships, I can see where it may be causing some possible static, all right? Because if old loves are coming back, then that means nostalgia, possible exes are coming back, causing rift in your current relationships, right? On both sides. I'm not going to assume one side or the other. That's typical. Let's be honest and let's be real. Whether people are being on it up and up about it or not, all right? Um, and or for those of you who are single and perhaps recently broken up, okay, some of the stuff still may be coming up if there's unfinished business, if things were left unsaid, um, and there's like complexity behind the matter, and you or your ex or both are with exes or something to that effect. Um, and this time with the retrogrades, uh, it brings about those thoughts, and that's healthy. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, nothing at all. That's just called hello being human, right? So I set intention and I tapped into my heart space and I did ask, okay, so instead of beating up on one party or the other, instead of trying to just say, well, hell, well, whose fault is it? Because you know how we are, how we get. And I understand that, yes, usually there is one party more so than the other that typically did sabotage or ruin something, or in a connection that's current, usually there is one that may be a little bit more prone to fall into traps and rose colored glasses when it comes to exes coming back around, dangling carrots in their face or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's typical. But I didn't want that energy in this read. I really wanted it to be a heart based reading, a fair and just and a neutral reading that's just simply going to look at things with each party owning both of their own roles, owning what they've both possibly looked at about themselves, not them looking at the other and then that one looking at that one saying, this was your fault, this was your fault, this was your fault, this is your fault, this was your fault. No, each person just in retrospect, possibly, or taking themselves out of the emotional upheaval and saying, okay, I'm gonna own up and I'm gonna look at what I learned about myself and what, you know, I feel like I've learned about that connection, or what I'm learning, and what I, feel like I could have done differently or wish I would have done differently. And if I'm still in a connection, what I desire to do differently moving forward. And if I'm not, if I was given that chance, what I would do differently. And then the possible outcome, and I say possible because it's energy, okay? Time is an illusion and it's all energy. And so, in other words, we have free will, and it depends on the decisions and choices that we make, right? Uh, and then, of course, words of encouragement. So I set an intention for this to be a positive spin. So from the 5D version of ourselves, or your person that you may be with, or the person of your past, not from our lower density version, our higher version, our higher selves, our 5D versions, you know, coming from that perspective, what positive encouragement would we give each other, whether or not we ever connect, in the cases of separation, or if we're broken up from the individuals, because it's not about if that's going to be something that happens or not. What would be the positive words of encouragement, okay? Now, in terms of the naughty stuff, because those of you who know me or who have followed some of the things I do, I have a naughty side, I have a fun side. I believe that's just a part of life and a part of love and romance and those types of relationships. So I am going to tap into that aspect in terms of any sexual fantasy or desire. I do have some naughty sex cards that are separate from the sex deck. These are actually sex fantasy cards um, that I'm going to utilize in terms of what your partner's sex fantasy is, right? And then what your possible sex fantasy may be for them, okay? And you'll take that as it resonates. Of course, all of this as it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, you release it. That's simple, okay? Not designed to resonate for everybody. And certainly everything that I say is not going to resonate. It's not designed that way when it's a general read. If you want like specifics, that's what's called a personal reading, okay? Personal reading, where the reader taps into your personal story, your personal energies, per your request. Okay. All right. And so then, of course, I got the oracles here. I got Kuan Yin. I will, tap into her at the end in terms of, what she would recommend for us, you inquiring. And then I may pull one for your love interest as well. Then over here, I'm going to pull a card for the love interest or past love interest or whatever. Um, in terms of where are they in their healing journey? Okay, in terms of what are they dealing with? Okay, then regular tarot, and then this is of course, as I mentioned before, the sex deck. Okay, all right. So I know that's a lot, and so without any further ado, let's get going. So I'm gonna spray myself afresh. Okay. Whew. All right. Mm. I like to take deep breaths after I explain everything to kind of just get regrounded. Since I have Gemini in my moon sign is in Gemini, it's an air sign. Astrologically speaking, I'm not sure if you all even understand what that means or if you resonate with any of that, but right now with all of that energy in transit, so we often feel right now we get very flighty, no matter how much energy work we're doing. And so it's like gotta, reground. And then when we do things like this, tapping into tarot, of course, we tap into the energy in which we're trying to serve. So that's why you'll hear me take breaths and kind of get still and to make sure that I'm grounding and make sure that I'm tapping into my heart space, because my desire is to stay my highest heart space, heart center. That's my desire and my intention. Because it's easy, believe me, believe it or not, it's easier than we think to be driven for other reasons, even this stuff. It's easier than we think. It's easier than we think to project um, our own stuff. It's almost hard not to. And so all we can do is try to transmute and ask our guides and our higher self to kind of clear and sift that. because we want to provide clearest, most loving energy and information as possible. So, with that being said, let's get started. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all are doing well. So, let's see how we're going to get this laid out. I didn't pre-plan it, so I just meditated, but I didn't plan on how I was going to lay it out. Kind of wild and crazy like that. I'm going to try to go as fast as I can. I don't have any music on tonight. Sorry about that. I actually was going to do a meditation tonight with you all, a yoga meditation, like for 10 minutes. And I may do one after this if I feel led, or I may just wait until the morning. Like a mantra. We'll see. All right, let's see here. So, okay, so this reading is about the things in which each has learned, each party, as they have reflected on the relationship, right? They've learned that about themselves, that they want to do differently, right? So let's see what that is. So for your person of interest, or the person that you're still with, or your past person, let's see. For the person of interest or the past person, what have they learned, or they feel that they have learned and they wish they can do different? For the past person or love interest, what have they learned? And what do they wish they feel like they can do different? If given a chance, what do they wish they can do different in a relationship? Past person, what have they learned? What do they wish they can do differently? What do they see about themselves? What do they wish they can do different? We got a, wow, well, they got a major arcana card on their end. So for you guys, this past person or the person that you may be with, they got a major arcana, they got the Justice card. So in this deck, this is the, I know it's interesting, in the Justice card, okay? You see the scales there? So for some of you, you know, your past person, and I'm gonna try to keep this simple because sometimes I get jumbled in words trying to use all the right verbiage, you know, because some of you is gonna be past person, some of it is present person, okay? But, you know, they realized that they were not balanced. They were not being fair in the relationship, okay? They realize this because remember, this reading is about the individuals looking at their role, not looking at the other person, okay? So they realized that they were not fair. They realized that they were not just, okay? They also realize, you know, I'm picking up, if you guys wonder when I pause, I'm like just picking up energy and things like that in specific situations since it is collective. because the justice is it's about a lot of things. And so they know that they were not focused because if the scales are about balance, okay? They know that they were not focused. They know that they were always looking elsewhere, as you can see. You know, the I don't know if it's a guy or I ain't gonna go there, but they're not, they're looking somewhere else. Okay. There are people in the background. All right. The scales are, you know, teeter-tottering here. They know that they were not. Okay. And in some cases, I mean, because I mean, this person looks kind of stiff, like stiff, and what I'm feeling from the picture, you know, they look stiff, they look rigid, they look, um, yeah. Some of you guys as persons, they realize like they just were absolutely not there with you at all. They were not, they were dishonest. As justice, you know, represents, you know, standing for what's right also. Um, it wasn't equal give and take. I know this is not like the Pentacles card, or, you know, but scales represents balancing. You know what I mean? And look, interesting. I'm sorry. Looking back on that, you know, at first, you know, they didn't want to see it. You know, they didn't want to admit it. They didn't want to acknowledge it. You know, but now they realize, like, you know what? No, I wasn't. I really wasn't. Okay. Um, so that's your person. So let's see what you all feel about your role. Okay. Okay. So for you all, what do you feel like you've learned about yourself in terms of the relationship that you wish you could have done differently? What do you feel like you've learned about yourself in terms of the relationship that you wish you could have done differently? Whoa, got you hoppers. What do you feel like you've learned about yourself in terms of the relationship that you wish you could have done differently? What do you all feel like that you've learned in terms of the relationship that you wish you could have done differently? What do you feel like you have learned about yourself, wow, in terms of yourself that you wish you could have done differently? What do you feel like that you have learned in terms of yourself about the relationship that you wish you could have done differently? Please and thank you. What do you feel like you've learned about yourself in terms of yourself? Hmm. What do you feel like you've learned about yourself? Ooh, okay. Right. Oh, two came out. So, well, okay. So this is interesting. We got, for you, we got two of pentacles. And then we got, I'm trying to see which one is this in this deck. If I still, hold up. With this, I'm trying to see if it's the knight. If this was the knight of swords, or if it is the, and maybe the page. So give me a second, because this is that other new deck. And it looks a lot different. Give me one moment. I want to make sure I identify the right one before, but I still want to know. Interesting, though. I know what I'm picking up with the Two of Pentacles. I know what that one's about. I can already tell and feel what that is about that you feel like you've learned. right off. Give me 1 second though. Okay, so there. Okay. There we are. So I was waiting for that. Okay. Hmm. Where are we at? Eight, two, three. Oh, so huh. Okay, I got it. Sorry about that pause there. Okay. But as I said, I knew right away about the first one. So in your case, your guys' case, two things you really feel like you've learned about yourself, okay, in terms of the action and the things that you wish you could do differently. So again, like I said, I know this is a different. I don't know if you guys can see it. The Two of Pentacles, and it's the Page of Swords. Two of Pentacles and Page of Swords. Okay, so what you all feel like is that you wish that you were better able to balance with the Two of Pentacles, better able to balance everything out in terms of everything that you were trying to do in your life at that time. If it's a past person at that, past situation, you had a lot going on, but learning how to balance, your home life, whether it was with kids, work, and the relationship. I know Two of Pentacles is normally about juggling, but you wish that you knew how to balance it, you know, a lot better than you did, but also because it was paired with the Page of Swords, you also wish that you spoke up your truth earlier, because you knew that that person was doing the things that he or she was doing. And so you don't, even though this is about you, because it's about you, you feel like that if you would have, the reason why you're taking it as your own lesson, you feel like if you would have used your Page of Swords, it would have used that, because it wasn't that you didn't know. And that's what you kind of are taking with you. And that even if you were given a chance, even if, um, whether it's this relationship or futuristically, one of your lessons is that you use your wisdom, first of all, about balance, right? How to balance your life, how to be balanced in a relationship, because you feel like, you know, you felt overwhelmed, some of you, like, um, you love the person. It was probably a hot and heavy and passionate relationship. It was probably a lot, though, because there was probably some toxicity there. Um, and so it was a lot going on. And some of you may be single parents, um, just a lot going on in your life. And like your person just said, they realized how they were not just. So you were probably carrying the relationship, right? But for some of you, you want to learn, you know, what you realize is like, okay, you do got to learn how to balance work life, home life, a relationship without falling apart. You know, oddly enough, how to balance, you know, even though your person got the justice, you know, card, but oddly enough, how to be balanced for you. You've also learned that in your own way, in a different way, because for you it wasn't about justice. For you, it's about how to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, how to know when to pull back your energy, if for lack of better words, know when you're giving too much. Um, on one end, on the other end, speak your truth, using your discernment and delivering that page of sword early. And so some of you feel like, okay, yeah, I just went along for the ride because, you know, I was hoping that they were going to eventually come clean, or I was hoping that, you know, if I could, you know, wait out the storm, that it's going to pass. I was hoping that maybe I could love them out of their, you know, chaotic ways or whatever. And so you learned that that's not wise, that the moment you are discerning truth, the moment that you're discerning that somebody is doing this with you, that somebody is doing it to a pinnacle with you, that is the very same moment that no matter what they say, no matter, you know, what they portray, no matter how they, you know, try to, you know, whatever, that you have to stand your ground, and you have to say, in a loving way, but that you have to do that. You have to say, hey, listen, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why, you know, you don't want to come clean here, but, you know, too much weird things have happened. You've been caught in too many lies. You're too unavailable. You're sleeping for 6 hours, 12 hours, you know, too much weird things are happening. And just because I haven't caught you fucking, it doesn't mean you ain't cheating. Or it doesn't mean that something's not right. And leave it at that, right? You've learned that you have to speak your truth, and whether or not they want to own it, speak it, drop it, make the judgment call, and walk away. But at least speak it fully, not, you know, saying like, not beat around the bush with it. Some of you may feel like that, like you beat around the bush, you kind of try to go, you know, well, what's going on, or what's wrong, or, you know, try to dance around it, and then they're like, no, or they gaslit you, you know what I mean? They gaslit you, like, no, you're tripping, and that's what's wrong, you know, and so you kind of froze up. And so you've learned, like, no, you speak your truth, you use your discernment, and you stand on that, because your discernment showed you this. It showed you that a long time ago. And so that's a lesson that you have taken with you, and that you wish you could have done differently, because also a part of you feel like that perhaps maybe this would have stood on that. Like basically like long ago within the relationship, if you would have stood on it and said, hey, no, I'm not stupid. Get your shit together. Okay. And meant it. Like, I'm not stupid. You're juggling and you're trying to keep your options open. If you want your ex, you can go be with her, but you will not have me and her. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine with me, but you will not have me. Okay? When you make up your mind, if I'm still here, give me a call. I'll see if I want you at that time. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, a part of me wonders, like, if I would have stood my ground, if does it mean risk losing them? But better to risk losing them, you know what I'm saying, and keep your dignity and keep what I'm saying, not risk getting your heart broken in the end of it, right? Um, and then giving them the truth, because sometimes these unspoken truths, and then things end anyway down the road, and oftentimes everybody is confused, right? Everybody ends up confused because sometimes none of this stuff is even said because everybody's all upset, right? So that's awesome. So you've taken away some major lessons too. You speak your truth, you use your discernment, and then learning how to balance in relationships, knowing when to hold them, when to fold them, knowing how to balance yourself out, like not overgive, allowing the other person to step up too, because it's about equal give and take. It's not about you trying to overgive, give, and all they doing is sucking it in and giving it away other places. So you've learned that no, it's about equal give and take. It takes two in a relationship. It takes two, right? And so that's beautiful. Awesome. Okay. So let's move on. And then I think it's beautiful, like the person of interest, they got a major. So what that tells me is that because they got a major arcana energy like that, anytime you see major arcana, that always implies that universe energy stepped on the scene. Anytime we see one of those, okay, just so you know, it means the universe jumped on it. Like, no, whether you want to see this or not, I'm on your tail because you're wrong. No, no, I'm just for real. That's just a joke. No, but on a serious note, in general, when we see major arcana cards, it's just simply the universal energy is backing up. It's a stronger force of energy that's supporting it. That's all. I was just being kind of funny and hilarious, so don't mind me, you guys. Okay. All right. So there you go. I think it's beautiful. I mean, the lessons that each party learned. Everybody's looking at themselves, seeing what they could have done differently, what they would do differently. You know, if they could. And that's always a positive. It's always a positive when you look at it from that perspective, right? So beautiful. Oh, see, look what's, oh my gosh. Ah, I think I want to give me a spray of the sage and lavender and rose. I love this. Oh my God. See, it doesn't get no better. See, you guys, right now, some of you may be feeling some kind of way, but I want to tell y'all, it always gets brighter, and the brightest after the rain. This is the sun card. Hair. Light skin, curly hair. But this is the sun card. It's the happiest card in tarot. This is what's coming. Seriously, this is what's coming for you guys in love. This is the energy that's coming towards. You don't go through all that stuff. I'm telling y'all, you don't go through hard knocks to not have something like this, okay, on its way. This is well deserved. Well deserved, okay? So that's beautiful. Beautiful. Look, oh my gosh. And look what's right up under that wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups. So, Nine of Cups, oh my gosh. Ooh, get excited. Okay. All right. So let me move on. I'm making this go longer than it needs to. Okay. Moving on to, let's go to now the sexy deck. So now we got our lessons, okay? We looked at both angles, what each person wishes they could have done differently, what they've learned, right? All right. So let's take a look see at what are we gonna ask the sex deck? They could have done it. Ooh, maybe I'll. Ooh, this is okay. Get some ideas. Hold on. Think. Well. Gotta be careful with this one, boy. This is the racy deck. Um, hmm. All right, I got it. All right, we're gonna talk about the sex life of the relationship now. I know this is a hot topic. Oof. Um, some people might say, "Ooh, don't go there." Well, it has to be had. This is for those who have actually had sex. I mean, if it's um, if it's a past relationship, if you got to that point, if you had sex, um, if it's a current relationship, of course, if you've gotten to that point, and if you've had sex, right? So we're gonna ask about, since we asked about lessons learned, right, in general, in terms of things that we want to do differently, now we're going to ask about the sex life. Why? Sex life is important too, isn't it? Often it's the very things that we don't want to talk about sometimes. Sex, money, family, right? Um, the very things that are often breaking up relationships in the first place. Got too many voices in your relationship, got too many influences. Got too many mofos telling you stuff, saying stuff, knowing stuff, right? Money, not the same viewpoint. One is more concerned about it than the other. Not open and honest about it. Somebody lying about it, stealing. Uh, Sex. Nobody's open and honest about it. Sex addiction, frigid. Um, so these are, what I'm saying? These are the common things that are usually can be the make or break. So why not talk about it? Why not do tarot? We talk about the issues that they regret and that they feel like they've learned, in terms of the relationship on a general scale. Let's talk about the sex life. It don't have to be bad or good. It could be neutral. So I'm not gonna put a an attachment to it. I'm gonna leave it general. It could have been perfectly fine as a review. My intention is just to tap into the sex life. What was the viewpoint from both sides? Did they feel like it was neutral? Did they feel like it can improve? I'm not going to go there as a general read, but I do feel like it should be looked at. Why? Maybe moving forward, it could be lessons learned, whether the relationship, you move forward in life with someone else, something to think about. If it's with the same person, you can if you feel like if it was warm, they say lukewarm, it's like, let me try to spice this up. All right. Point of view, the love interest, past or present. How do or did they feel about the sex life on a general scale, the overall? I'm not going to say no one particular day, but on a general scale, if there was a sex Like, how did they feel about that in terms of the relationship? Um, yeah, let me rephrase that. I'm gonna have to rephrase that. I gotta think. Give me a second because a lot can play into the sex life, and I'm gonna get into that later. Sometimes there are external factors that are affecting sex lives, and I'll probably do a whole nother scrub on that a whole nother day. Um, Circumstantial things. So I'm gonna rephrase my question before I even start. How did the past or present person, love interest, feel about the person, the sex with them when they had sex? How was the sex with them when they had sex? In the most convenient of ways, when it was not intruded upon or interrupted by some. I do all that right. I'm trying to tap into the art space and into the most highest kind of energy. Like, if folks had kids and crazy scenarios, I mean, their heart on, like when they had, yeah. So how did they feel about the sex with the person? How did they feel about the sex with them? How was the sex? How was the sex? How did they feel? How about the sex? The love interest, past person. Oh hell! What the hell? What the? Did you see them cards? I don't know if y'all saw that, but I did. Oh my god. Okay, hold the telephone. That was crazy. I hope y'all saw that. When I look at it again, I want to see if I can see how those cards flew out. Well, okay, so there's 3 cards that popped out, you guys, and I'm gonna just roll with that. Whew. All right, so I'm gonna let y'all see this, okay? Um, okay. Well, Lord have mercy. Okay, give me a second here. I'm already sweating and scratching. um, mm, ooh wee. Okay. So, okay, I'm just gonna have to show y'all, and then I'll tell the story and what I'm feeling and picking up of what they liked, okay, and how they felt. Uh, but let me. So, hopefully, you're okay with the vivid images. All right. Um, Yowzers. Are you guys able to see that? Okay, so this is how it goes. Okay, so for some of you, they liked that. Okay, help me. This is so gosh. Okay. Who's this right here? Thomas. Hello. Hi. Thank you for joining. Um, okay, so for some of you, he liked that you, oh gosh, sometimes you, um, okay, I gotta just say it. Okay, Brandy, you can't be shy now all of a sudden. Okay. Okay, so for some of you, okay, he liked that you liked to play with his penis. Okay. You liked He liked that you were fascinated by his penis. That's why you see this picture. And you didn't have a problem. That was, some of you had a wild side that way. So, you didn't have a problem, touching his penis, even in public places. Some of you had a thing that you guys did. It may not have been like literally in this kind of scenario outside, but some of you it was. Some of you was at the movies. Some of you was at the movies. Some of you it was um yeah, it was at the movies, it was at the car in a car, it was, Lord have mercy, it was at work, it was at everywhere. That kind of like, turned them on, like how you were just like freestyling it like that. Okay. Um, they also like this part of you. If you see down here, I don't know if you guys can see at the very bottom, with these two girls, they just kind of got, their stuff, right? But if you look at the bottom, this is a camera, like video camera, whatever, right? So, but what I'm picking up about this though is that for some of you, there's this thing that you and your person used to do, even though y'all live close. But there's this thing y'all used to do, okay, on video. And it was like, you guys did video, kind of like FaceTime video, but it was almost like video porn each other or whatever's. And yeah, and of your, yeah, okay. And you would do stuff to yourself. And um, sometimes yeah. Hmm. And that's what they like. Because y'all saw all those cars flew up. Whew, Lord have mercy. Okay. Um, and this one right here, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Yeah. See, we got fire and air element, right? Fire and air. So with this, what your person really liked is, this part of you, that you're very expressive for some of you. You had a tendency that could be very expressive at times, especially when things were going well. So some of you may have been very verbal, sexually, um, and you know they liked when you let them do it this from this direction. So apparently that's, yeah, they you know I can't even barely talk like because they just all like just flipped out. And I'm like sitting here all hot, like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Um, so, well, you don't need to question that, hello. Only thing that I could probably say is they may want more of it. Like, I don't feel any regret or anything from the cards. I would say, you know, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't feel any of that coming from them or, from the cards. They just may want more, more. Oh my gosh. Now look what's at the bottom of the deck for them on their desire or how they felt about the sex. Again, the sun. This is the sun in this deck. This is the sun card, guys. Oh my God. So, as relates to them and how they felt about the sex, this is what they feel. You're the phoenix. They feel like it's fire with you and that it would be fire. So that's not even like a question, on their end. So let's see, what you feel. Okay, that's how they feel about the sex with you. Now let's see what you feel about the sex with them. Let's see, let's see, let's see. So how do you feel about the sex with your past person or your present person? However it resonates, how do you feel about the sex with them? How do you feel about the sex with them? Well, well, well. Should I get two more because three came out for them? Would that be fair? Even though this is good, this is, it's a Six of Cups. I have to read on this one though to see because this is what it looks like. Six of water, which equals to Six of Cups. So this is water, which is good. So far we got fire and air, and now we got the element of water in the sex life here. Okay. You bring in the emotion. Got to get a feel of this card here. So how do you feel about them? I'm going to get two more just to try to make it a fair balance exchange. Because three flew out on their side like. So I'm going to get two more for you just to bring a fair balance. And then I got to get a feel of that card. Okay. Oh, hell, I didn't even. Okay. Ooh, what's this? Heirloom. Okay, so you guys in this deck, I don't know if you looked at the other read, there are some cards in this deck that are not like the traditional, just like that. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay. I got it. I got it. I'll get one more to make it an even exchange. One more, please. How do they feel about their past person? One more, please. The sex. The sex of them. One more. Okay, well, that didn't come out, so I can't take it. Hold on. If it comes out, then I know it's meant to. One more, please. How do they feel about that? Huh. interesting. Okay, now I got Earth on the board. All the elements, I'm digging it. We got all the elements in this sex life: earth, water, fire, and air. That's the stuff. Okay, so how you feel about them? It's interesting. Wait, I'm trying to get you a good look. It's like a glare. There we go. Is that better? Okay. So, okay. So you feel like for you, the sex is a combination of things. You feel like it's very emotional for you. Yet, and this is from this card, it's emotional for you, but you feel like you're trying to tap into, or you were trying to get them, depending if it's past or present, you wanted to get them to open up more emotionally. That's why you see them like submerged in the water, and she's trying to get him to come out of the water. And she's confident though. This is not a bad card. She's confident um, that she will. She knows it. She knows just how to make that happen. She knows the right touch because it's emotional for you, but that's what she's doing. She's trying to tap into that for him. So that's what it was. See how he or she saw you with all those cards, and so she was tapping into that, but trying to get him to tap into his emotional side, because she equally saw him or her as kind of the sex, and the sex was kind of chaotic at times, but fun. Like, you actually like the chaos. Like, you can see the butterflies and the wind and the kind of whimsical, but it was like chaotic, conflicty, but it was wild and crazy and free. So it was kind of a combination of things. But again, like, it wasn't all bad. That's why you see butterflies, right? Um, at the same time, you're conflicted a little bit. You're conflicted, but you were only conflicted because of some other issues. And that's what I see with this. You were conflicted because, like, you can see here, you see that hand down there? I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a hand at the bottom. And that's the only reason. It wasn't that, you didn't enjoy the person. It was that, things, you knew things were not quite right, and so that there were other energies present. And so because you knew that, it was starting to make the sex life feel conflicty to you. They may, okay, I want to say that. And that's oftentimes people don't know that. Sensitive people typically know. And so it started to make, for you, the sex life may have started feeling conflicty to you, even though the sex life was bomb to you, but because of the other energies that were present, because of other stuff that they were doing, with other people that they didn't know that you knew, it started making it feel like, okay, Okay. Right. And that's confirmed by this, the nine of earth. So you felt like they're just sexually independent, too big for their britches, doing their own thing, always going about in the world looking for, you know, other conquests. That's really what you felt. Um, that's what you felt about your guys' sex life. You felt that, you know, you were not enough for your guys' sex life. That's why they were always looking around. And Earth is about the material world. Um, that's why they were always looking about. Again, look at that other hand in there. You felt those other energies, even though you could get them to come out of the shell here, right? If they would open up, they would just, let you tap into that, because obviously, obviously they, felt you sexually, but you know, um, they were just too big for their britches, insatiable. They had other toxic ties and bonds and addictions and all that stuff. And so, and you knew it. That's the thing that they didn't understand, that you knew anyway. And you can feel it, and it was throwing off the sexual energy that was very potent and had a lot of potential to be even more powerful than that. Um, but it was a throw off, because you knew that they were always stomping around looking for conquest, right? So that's that. And at the bottom of the deck on your end, let's see, when they saw the sun, and for you, oh, I don't even know if I want to share this. Two major arcana as well. Well, I mean, it is what it is. I can't. Unfortunately, they saw you as, the sun, in terms of the sex. For you, this is what you see for them. I mean, hell. Now, before we get all sad and gloomy, death, yeah, it's death. That's another major. Death is a couple of things. Death is endings of cycles. So in terms of the sex life, I mean, because this is what this particular, spread, what we're doing right now, sex life, right? So for you, that's dead. And perhaps that's a good thing. I mean, because after what we just saw, like, do you really want this to be alive still? I mean, that's not a good feeling to have with somebody that you're with. I mean, even if you're still with the person, or even if there was a resurrection of the relationship, you want to feel, you want the good aspects of this. You want to feel like they are opening up, that this animal is up out of the water and coming towards you, right? You want to feel like these hands aren't here, that there's not conflict in your sex life because of these other energies being present, right? You want to feel like they're no longer sexually independent of you. So you certainly, this is a good sign. You certainly want that to be put to rest in general. So I'm happy to see this, because as you move forward in life, whether it's with that person or someone else, that stuff right there is no longer. Okay. So that is, to me, that's a good sign that that's not following you. Okay. In your, how you see, a relationship or how you see that person. You know, do you want to see that person as that? You know, so that's good to be put to death. See, you don't want to see them that way no more. We want it to be changed. We want it to be a whole new season, a whole new way of looking at them, you know, right? So that's a good thing. So let me see what else after that. Ooh, the moon. Might of Earth, okay. New beginnings, okay. King of Earth, all right. All right. So that's some good stuff there, you guys. Um, so we got that. Now, ooh, that's some intense stuff here, y'all. Let's get to some naughty fantasy cards. Okay, let's see what your person's, what's their sex fantasy about you right now. Yep, we gonna take a peek. Take a walk on the wild side. We're gonna peek into that psyche, whether they saying it or not. Oh, the magic of tarot. What is a fantasy that they're having now, this now moment? Hold up. These look so little I can't shuffle them. I'm turning this way so I don't see it. I can't shuffle them. All right. So for the person of interest, wait, hold up. Did I take out the, I want to make sure I took off the, we don't need the like the label card on there because that doesn't apply. So I want to make sure I took that off before I even get started. Yep, this is what we don't need. We don't need that. Okay. All right, so for your person of interest in this now moment, what is their, see if it'll let me do it. What is their sexual fantasy? What do they want right now for you? With you, sexual fantasy. Sexual fantasy right now. Person of interest for you, sexual fantasy. What do they want? What do they want? Sexual fantasy. Sexual fantasy. It's hard to do it that way. I may not be able to, you guys. So, sexual fantasy. Yeah, I may not be able to. I wanted to be able to do it that way. I may have to just pick sexual fantasy. Person of interest, what is their sexual fantasy? Please and thank you for you right now. Sexual fantasy. Sexual fantasy. Ooh. Oh, hold up. Cool sex. That's about right. It's pretty hot. Okay, enjoy some hot passion in either a pool or the sea. Be careful not to get caught though. All right. Number 30. Okay. Number 33. So what is your sexual fantasy for your person of interest right now? What is your sexual fantasy for your person of interest right now? What is your sexual fantasy for your person of interest right now? What is your sexual fantasy? Your sexual fantasy for your person of interest. Your sexual fantasy. Oh, I totally get it. Okay. Outdoor sex. You must have sex. Basically the same in a way. You must have sex in an outdoor location chosen by your partner. 11. Oh my. Okay. Well, there you have it. There's your kinky sex fantasies you guys have for one another right now. And at the bottom of the deck, you guys want to go to a sex shop visit. And it says your partner will escort you to a sex shop and then purchase something special for you guys to use in sex. Oh, yeah. Fun. That's fun. Okay. All right. So now, word of encouragement that your person, the 5D, would want to give you. A word of encouragement that the 5, oh, hell. Well, I can't count that. I don't think that was it. That didn't fall right. All right, let's try this again. Word of encouragement your 5D would want to give you. Word of encouragement. Turn it this way. Word of encouragement your 5D would want to give you. In this now moment. Person of interest. Word of encouragement. Man, it's not doing it. I'm going to do it this way. I don't like it when I don't do it the way I need it to. Word of encouragement. 5D person of interest. We want to give them now. Word of encouragement. Word of encouragement, please and thank you. Oh, hell. Word of encouragement, Jesus. Word of encouragement. Yeah. Nope. Encouragement. Word of encouragement. Yeah, that's important that way. Sticking. Sticking. Oh, since that one come out, I'm rolling it. Just kisses? They just want to give you some kisses. There you go. Word of encouragement you want to give your person. Word of encouragement. Oh, how cute. Well, you both want to give each other kisses. What are the chances of that? Aww. And at the bottom of the deck, aww. It says, love you, babe. XOXO. Aww. It's corny, right? Adorbs. That's the cutesy stuff. All right, moving on to the next. Now let's see where they are at in terms of their actual healing work. If they are, what they're dealing with in their soul. If they're actually, if they're working on anything, are they transforming or if they're struggling with them? Pull one card. Whether they're participating or not, it's just going to show where they're at. Man, these bad boys are sticking. Keep seeing a theme. As I'm looking at the cards, I keep seeing it. Man. Aww. Yeah, I'm seeing some themes here. All right. So where's the person of interest? past love or present love, where are they at in their healing journey, their soul in this now moment? Where are they? Where are they at in their soul? What are they dealing with? Where are they at in their soul? Whoa. Aww. Dreaming. Currently, in this now moment, they're dreaming. And there's the three again. What's up with these threes, though? Okay. Right. Okay, so all these colors, the thing that I'm picking up is um, some of them probably have just recently gone through as somewhat of an awakening that was probably brought on by like a tower moments, or just a lot of life stuff that kind of just happened. Um, it's taken place for some of them in a lot of ways, in a lot of areas, not just as relates to this relationship, but whether it's the past relationship, present. So in a whole, like in a whole sense for their lives, and um, but specifically speaking, as it relates to the connection path. Oh, there. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Some of them want reconciliation. Some of them are dreaming of that. You know, some of them are, just dreaming of just wholeness in life. Healing. The enlightenment that's taken place, and they're just trying to, with just kind of resting here in the elements and on the, tiger, they're really just trying to let it all settle, really. Let me see what's at the bottom here. Family and tribe, yeah. It can be daunting, and there's a tiger again. Yep. Um, Wondering where they belong, and when that enlightenment happens, you know, um, and then right after that, under that is patience. So that enlightenment and awakening, it can be daunting, and they're trying to figure out where they belong, what makes sense. A lot of their belief systems are being shooken up, their core values, all that is being shooken. So they're like looking to find rest and just letting it simmer. you know, that's where a lot of them are. Your phone, cut on the internet on your phone.
Why?
But you can't make this stuff. So, um, journey. It's already being weird. Let's do this before um, before it keeps going out over and over. So I apologize. I will be having better connections here soon. My apology. Interruptions we have had with the internet. So, but this was fun. I enjoyed myself. It was a very hot and spicy and intimate reading, actually. You know, I could feel the emotions of both sides and just, you know, and I like that. Pool is going to be for you, not for your person, in terms of like just honing into that divine feminine energy and what will be helpful for you in this time, because it ain't even about what I've learned is that at the end of the day, it always comes down to us. Because the only person we can control is ourselves. Relationships actually, they come and they go. There's nothing that's really guaranteed. All we can do is learn, grow, and try to love from our heart, and be present and enjoy the journey. But at the end of the day, it's about us. And so this pool is about us. It's about you and honing in on that energy for yourself in this now moment and being free and releasing any attachment or healing, and just sending healing energy to the person, just letting go, and blessing self and blessing the person no matter what. If you're with the person, all the more, blessing them and not trying to enforce anything. If it's time to walk away, that's a judgment call you have to ask yourself, without trying to enforce, your way upon people, right? And or allowing them to enforce their way upon you either, right? All right, so let's get a beautiful Kuan Yin energy of Kuan Yin goddess. What do you have to say to us in terms of this read and what we need to tap into for ourselves in this now moment, as we have taken responsibility for our own actions and our own role in the connection? What would you have to say for us in this now moment? Moving. Okay, there we go. Kuan Yin has spoken. Oh, call of the dancing crane. Call of the dancing crane. I'm gonna read on that for you and then there's like an energetic transmission prayer. I'll read that for you here in a second. Call of the dancing crane. Nice. So let's see what she has for us with that. What is that saying about us since we have taken on? I mean, this could be for your person as well, since they've taken the responsibility as well, right? So this can certainly be for them. So let's see what that's all about. I mean, we both have both feminine and masculine energy. So it's not just about a woman. So, all right. Call of the dancing crane. Dancing crane moves through waters and muddy marsh with elegance and grace. The mating call, the mating call and dance of the crane is full of beautiful movement and flow. There are times when the astral waters, oh my, I know about that, astral waters of our emotional life become stagnant and will benefit from the healing movement, grace, and beauty of the dancing crane. The call of the dancing crane is a reminder that sound can be healing too. This is particularly so when your thoughts, beliefs, and emotional patterns do not support you in living the spiritual destiny that you were born to live. Have you ever felt like you were a different person on holidays or when you were traveling? This is because you were free of the astral gravity that you usually live within on a day to day basis. The astral plane is like glue. When we put enough energy of habit into thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and stories from our past that condition how we interpret current life experiences, we can get stuck in astral gravity, unable to let go, ooh, this is good, of ways of thinking and reacting, even if we really wish to do so. We can create sticky astral thoughts and beliefs that attach to houses, places, and people. When we are in a different environment, we often have a chance to create fresh habits and beliefs, which is why a holiday or travel can be so refreshing and inspiring. Sometimes, however, that is not practical and we need healing to break through the muddy stagnation of old thoughts and beliefs right now. As we grow spiritually, we can outgrow our astral conditioning, just like sifting mud out of water, so we can move more freely and gracefully like dancing crane. If we accept healing energy to help us filter through our psychological programs so that our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions can create new habits and patterns more aligned with what we would like to experience in our lives, these filtered energies can become more powerful than old stories about life that no longer support us in living according to our spiritual life. Healing the astral waters can require great patience, persistence, and application to be achieved. The dancing crane uses dance, sound to thrive, and you are encouraged to use movements such as dance and yoga, and sacred sounds such as chanting mantras or healing names of the divine, such as Kuan Yin, dancing crane goddess, to support your healing. You may intuitively feel that movement in a physical sense to a different location, oh my God, such as going for a walk or a drive to a different park or beach might help you. If you have been feeling that you need to move to a different location, yes, Lord, change situations um, in your life or connect with new groups of people with whom you feel more inspiration, then this oracle is confirming this intuition and encouraging you to embrace those changes in your life. You are being guided by the grace of Kuan Yin through the healing vibration of the call of the dancing crane. to stop believing in your own stories, your old habits and patterns, to realize that they are simply astral conditioning. There is no higher truth to them than this. You are allowed to change them. You can choose to cultivate any thoughts, beliefs, and interpretations of experiences that you'd like. Sometimes we are graced with divine assistance, which helps our astral healing happen more quickly and easily. We still need our affirmations to change our thoughts and to let go of old stories about our self worth, abundance, health, relationships, judgments of ourselves or others. Yet, with divine blessings, it is like we get a hand lifting us up out of our old ways until we learn to stand in new vibration on our own. You are being asked to allow her to assist you now. She might come to you in meditation, through a healing session on or in a dream. You may see her as a crane goddess or hear music and sound that uplifts you into a new vibration. You may feel her guidance and the urge to create vision board or to say affirmations or mantra and a desire to dance or do yoga. Allow her to guide you to the perfect way for you to receive her divine blessing and help so that your affirmations, your vision board, made of inspiring images that you love, and your choices to interpret incoming data as evidence that the universe loves and helps you become more powerful than the pull of your past. Here's the transmission. Beloved Kuan, Goddess calling through the dancing crane, may your sound, grace, and light shine brighter than my doubt or fear. May your light help my own soul draw near. May I surrender that which no longer serves me with unconditional love and replace it with inspiration of your divine love. Om Shanti. Soha. And so let it be. Namaste.